Good afternoon. My name is Brian Eaton. I'm the Assistant Chief with the City of Durham Fire Department in Durham, North Carolina. And I'm here to talk with you today about one of our Sutphens trucks that we're picking up. This one right here, this is engine number 9. This is one of 7 trucks that we're having put in service at roughly the same time. The City of Durham has recently undergone a change to the design of our trucks, and this represents sort of the committee view of what they want these new trucks to look like, and it has some pretty exciting new features going forward. Start off in the driver's seat. Fairly standard for us. One of the things we added to this truck was additional side view and rear view cameras. That's something we haven't had on trucks leading up to this point. Just trying to have a little more ergonomic features for our drivers and a little bit better visibility with some improved mirrors and reverse mirrors on the trucks. Over here, we have dual auto ejects on this truck. One of them for our regular shoreline power, and the other for what's called an APU, or an auxiliary power unit. This is so that the City of Durham has got some sustainability goals and kind of going green. That allows the truck to turn off after several minutes when it's not pumping, and battery power will run the truck, all the lights, all the scene lights and everything, for a period of up to about 2 hours. So it keeps our idling time down, and the city has an idle reduction policy in effect, and that's going to help us meet those goals. Another one of the changes we've got on this truck is this new compartment. We used to have a window right here. Now it's a compartment that's going to be used for the driver's gear. They're going to store all their stuff in here. It's sealed from inside the cab to help keep down on carcinogens entering into the compartment as we move towards more of eliminating carcinogens in our environment. Moving on to the driver's rear door. The driver's air pack is on the back wall, and we have 3 additional seats with SCBA in the seats back there, and just a little more substantial compartmentation inside the cab, just allows us to store a few more things inside in a safe manner. As you'll probably notice on this truck, we do not have any cross lays out of the gate. We have a transverse compartment there now. Right behind the transverse compartment is actually where that auxiliary power unit lives, the big battery. This transverse compartment is there. We're probably going to put our high-rise hoses and any number of miscellaneous equipment in there. And then we have our 1500 GPM pump, and we have 4 intakes on this truck, which is a huge departure from where we were on our previous engines. So we hope that these additional intakes will give our drivers more flexibility when they're on fire scenes. On top of the truck, of course, we have our deck gun, and we have a 200-foot booster line on top of the truck, which is pretty much a standard thing for the City of Durham. Moving around to some more of the driver's compartments, we just have slide-out trays and just storage for nozzles, appliances, and just miscellaneous equipment. Our committee is working right now to see exactly how we're going to outfit all 7 of them, but we're kind of moving forward with that. We also, on these trucks, we try to utilize some of the spare storage before and after the tires, and we have smart storage compartments. On this side, of course, we don't have them because we have our diesel tank there, but on the opposite side, you'll see that we have additional space for SCBA. Then we have a fairly large side compartment where we're going to have most of our tools, access housing tools, any kind of hammers, any other small equipment they can store there. Very large tool board, just for quick access to that equipment, and we're pretty excited about that. That is something we've not had on fire engines in Durham up to this point. Moving on to the rear driver's compartment. We have a somewhat slender top area compartment with a large transverse area in the back of the truck with slide-out trays. We'll be storing our ventilation fans, scene lighting, and items such as that in this area. Once again, we're still working on exactly how we're going to lay out the equipment. Since we don't have a generator on this truck, which is a huge departure for the City of Durham, most of our tools are going to be going to battery. So we're excited about that. As we move around, we've also, as you can see, we've increased the scene lighting and the backup lighting on these trucks. Instead of having halogen, we're going with LED so that we can give drivers improved visibility as they're backing up to try to avoid hitting anything. Another, probably the biggest departure and the biggest improvement we've made to these trucks is we've got a much lower hose bed than we're accustomed to. Once we went to that lower hose bed height, it kind of made some of our compartments a little bit more slender in order to drop that height down. All of our hoses on this truck that are pre-connected are going to be coming off the rear of the truck. So that is something that we're going to be getting used to, but we will be, since we're changing out 7 of our apparatus at one time, that will make it a little bit easier for us to kind of make that more of a standard operating policy for the city. Because not only do we have 7 that are being picked up right now, we've also got an additional 4 that are exactly like these that are just on order that we're hoping to get in about a year or so, somewhere in that vicinity. In the back, roll-up door to access another slide-out tray. So the utilization of slide-out trays on these is going to really help keep our firefighters from straining their backs and being able to place equipment in there and to be able to access it without having too much stuff laying on top of each other. Moving around to the captain's side of the truck, the other side of that transverse compartment is here. So we've got a slide-out tray in the upper area, and then just more flat storage with no slide-out tray in this area. So we're, at first we were thinking we might have a little bit limited storage as a result of dropping the hose bed height, but it turns out we're actually pretty happy to report that we have quite a bit of storage in these trucks, and so we're very happy about that. As we were talking about the smart storage on the driver's side, you can see the dual smart storage compartments on the captain's side to keep putting in our fire extinguishers and our additional SCBA bottles. We did have just enough room for a small center compartment on these trucks. Do we have the possibility of putting some high-rise hose in here or just some miscellaneous tools in this compartment? We just decided to try to utilize every square inch of available space on these trucks, and Sutphens done a very good job equipping them with that. And then kind of the final compartment is just more of an open compartment that we're going to, once again, we're still looking at how we're going to lay out all of our equipment, and stay tuned for some additional placement of equipment is going to be in that compartment. One of the most other exciting things on this truck are we have the Zyco ladder brackets on here. These are electric. These power down to a comfortable height for a firefighter, so we're not having to strain our backs, or for our personnel that are shorter, they should be able to get the 24, 14-foot ladder or the attic ladders off with very little risk of injury, and it should be very convenient for them to get that equipment off the truck. Moving around, the access to our booster hose and the other side of that transverse compartment where the crosslays used to reside, just the other side of that. And then we have our additional intake on this side and additional outlets for any auxiliary hoses we've got. And then we have our floating trays, which I forgot to mention on the other side. We also have a floating tray that is on both sides of the truck. Moving around to the captain's rear. So we've got on this side, where on the driver's side we had a sealed compartment. On the captain's side, it's an open compartment where our EMS equipment is planned to be, and equipment that firefighters can get to in a moment's notice and pull off before they jump off the truck. Also, our iron storage is to the right of the rear firefighter. And that compartment also leads to the side where we can get to that equipment from inside the apparatus or from the outside. So this is additional storage we've not really been able to utilize in the past that we're very excited to have on these new apparatus. Moving forward to the captain's compartment, you can see our headset systems are in there. All of the access, we have actually a safety interlock on these trucks, so if a compartment is open, the vehicle will not start to prevent us from doing damage to fire apparatus or stations. That's a change that we've just recently made on these trucks. We have lots of room for the captain. We've eliminated our slide-out trays for laptops as we have switched to iPads for our dispatching, so that leaves us a lot of extra space that is not in the view of the driver or the captain as they're arriving on scene. Gives them much better field of view when they're coming to arriving on a call. Finally, at the front of the truck, so we have, as you can see, a front intake on the truck, which is recessed in the bumper. We have a high strength steel bumper with some kind of a protective lining and coating to help protect the bumper from wear and tear and corrosion. And we also have a brow light, a 3-piece brow light at the top. And then of course, American flag grille, which we're very excited about. And then around the perimeter of the grille, we have what is sort of our answer for some additional visibility. So 3 air sticks that kind of border the grille of the truck. And as you can probably tell, that's going to be very effective for our lighting needs. Once again, we also do another departure for us is having a pre-plumbed bumper line, so we can use for vehicle fires or small trash fires, that type of thing. And once again, we're very excited to put these trucks in service, and we appreciate your time.